I'm so happy to be making this video right now. I'm just happy. It's not like, over happiness. How do I explain this? So one time when I was working with a practitioner for brainwave optimization, it's like a treatment where you listen to the frequencies of your own voice. It's not offered anymore. It's an original technology of Cereset. That practitioner, she was really in this realm of spirituality and whatnot, and she was telling me that, the law, I don't know if it's the law of polarity, it has something to do with energetic balance and how we shouldn't aim to be happy, like so happy, because she says that there is always a call for balance. And so if we're too far in the positive, like thinking positive all the time and like overly positive, she thinks could, and there's studies that could then cause the need for the negative to come in and balance it out. And so I think that there's a difference. I think true joy is different than like happiness. I feel like maybe there's not. Joy, I feel, is like a full body experience because of the present moment that you're in. And happiness, I don't know if this is real, but in this moment, it seems like happiness is more of a mental thing. And so really, ever since we had that conversation, I always aim to be present, like in the present, in the now. And in that, I find that I'm able to access this sense of peace. And in that sense of peace, there's joy. Rather than just being like so happy because something's working out, it's like being so at peace that this like huge weight is lifted and you get to just be in your life, and it's not based off of circumstances. Like you don't have to wait until everything is all good to feel that. And that, I think, is what is the right word? That is exempt. Like you're allowed to have that while the energies around you move and do their things and all the pendulums and everything balance themselves while you experience life as it is. So I feel like we're gonna go on a journey right now. It's quite cold, but I wanted to film outside. The sun was out earlier. So I'm here in Portugal. If you don't know, I am living here at the moment. I love it so much, and I'm, just regulating, really. Like I'm here to regulate. I'm here to heal in a whole new level and to bring forward into the world a download that I got when I was in Ireland living in a hay barn in a broken down van. And so that download is the next expansion of the method that is found within Dream Life Sleep Hypnosis. Dream Life Sleep Hypnosis is my method of subconscious reprogramming while you're sleeping using the frequency of your own voice. Absolutely life-changing. I just made my new one because I had manifested a few things that were in my old one, and so I wanted to update it, and there were some things that I became more clear on that I desire. And so yesterday was my first day. Last night, or 2 nights ago, was my first night listening to it. And in those dreams, the first one was about my most recent boat that I worked on just for a little bit. And the owners are really fascinating. I think that it came up because I had a call with somebody recently who works in the podcast realm for like a really well-known podcaster. And we were talking about the app, really. He wanted to discuss the app. And so I think that podcaster was on my mind, and he's friends with the owner of the boat that I used to work on. So like that whole world kind of got brought to light. And how, I guess now that I'm in this timeline with the app, with my online platforms, and like I'm having these conversations with people who are in this space, I had this dream of working on that boat as a yacht stew for those owners who at the time, I remember it was right before I moved here to Europe, and I had accepted that job because I was in that period of time where I just had quit my 9-to-5, and then I was like, universe was giving me all the low-hanging fruit of the opportunities that were like mirrors of old jobs that I had. And so this boat was like a mirror of the last boat that I worked on. It was in the exact same marina, almost the exact same size, amount of crew, same like dynamics of like people just mirroring the same energies. It's just always interesting how you manifest new situations that are pretty much exactly like the last one if you didn't learn all the lessons. So anyway, I was in this dream working on the boat for these owners, and with all that in mind, when I was on that boat, I was feeling like I want to be in their circle kind of thing, not necessarily like theirs, but I didn't want to be working for them. I wanted to be creating my own thing that allowed me to be, you know, in the way that I was perceiving them as free. And they're very inspirational people, the two of them. And I really enjoyed a lot about them and really looked up to them in a lot of ways. And so in that dream, my hypnosis was playing through it as I was like on the boat, and I was trying to get it to shut up. Because I remember like in the dream, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed of like what I wanted, and embarrassed of like the level that I wanted to create and the way that I wanted to be seen and like all this stuff. And so it was, again, that pattern had like kind of done a little back alley, because I told you guys about how it was showing up when I first started dream life sleep hypnosis, but it was showing in like romantic relationship. But it was the same thing. I was like, the hypnosis was playing, the audio was playing in that loop that was looping with that pattern of being embarrassed of what I wanting to play small. And so it was like the hypnosis was like penetrating that loop and being like, nope, you gotta face this, which is just fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Especially because like what had been coming up with that call with the podcast. And so it's like, it's kind of like, do you really want to be in this realm? And if you do, you have to own who you are now. So cool. so cool. So where were we? I think that I'll just kind of try and navigate into this other part of the message that I've been getting shown in my meditations, especially like really clearly today, this message. And it came through in the book Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Thorns and Roses. But this one is a throne of glass. And so I'm on the last book, the 8th book. And I just read the 7th book, Tower of Dawn. I'm sorry, I just like never remember the names of books or anything. I'm just in the world and I like have no idea how to like verbalize it out. outside world. But in that book, it was talking about healing, and I hope that this isn't a spoiler, but it's like one of the characters can't walk and he's working with a healer who, you know, it's fascinating how it really comes down to he was never going to be able to walk again if he didn't face the darkness that was living within him and like feeding off of him feeling like shit about himself, like pretty much feeding off of him hating himself. And he eventually had to forgive himself, and it like takes you really deep into seeing that, because like we hear those words like, oh, forgive yourself, and it's like, okay, I forgive you, and then you don't actually. But when you actually do, the darkness doesn't have a hold over you anymore. And that can be in regards to like actually healing your physical form, like maybe there is something that you're working on healing, but also it's in regards to setting yourself free to live the life that you desire as well. I do feel that there is this darkness, so the way that I perceive it is like through the lens of the law of one. And the law of one talks about these service to self entities, which it's like we have those balancing forces, right? Like from the very beginning, it's like we have service to others and we have service to self. And so these service to self entities come here with the purpose and the mission to enslave others. Yeah, this is a journey. It's all tying together. Aslan's also inside for the first time ever without me, and I don't think he's doing anything bad, which is amazing. But anyway, so these service to self entities, they, in the law of one, it talks about how they can be in like other dimensions, like they're not really even in this physical realm, which is fascinating because in the book they're from another world as well, this darkness. And so they can like infiltrate our bodies and our minds, and they often find, you know, a way to enslave us by keeping us away from our truth, which is love. If our truth is love and is abundance, and if we're believing in the distortions of truth and believing that we should be ashamed or guilty or, you know, all these things, embarrassed of who we are, that is BS. That is an illusion. But that allows another entity to then control our life and pretty much use our body like as a host. Like these are like parasites pretty much, like as a host to live the life that they want us to live and do the things that they want us to do in their desire for control and their desire for enslavement. And so the way to set yourself free is not to fight darkness, is not to like be like, I hate you, I see you, go away. It's shown in this book, it's talked about all the time, we talk about it all the time, but it really is to love it. And to, like in the book, like he like finally gets there, and sorry for the spoiler, you can just like cover your ears for 30 seconds if you need to, but he like eventually is down there and sees the darkness, sees his friends forgiving him, and like they're not resenting him, he's just resenting himself, and then he kisses the darkness on like the forehead, and the darkness like runs away. He's like, ah, love. Ah. And so like that image plus what I've been shown in my meditations recently, it's like, oh. And then when I look at dynamics in my life with certain people and situations who I, you know, originally felt a certain way about because of the way that I've seen like darkness infiltrating them, or the way that I see like just psychological things like narcissism and manipulation and like and lies and like these things. And so there's been a part of me where it's like, I hate them, they're liars, blah, blah, blah. Not like hate, I don't hate anybody, but that kind of thing. And I've been really like in that realm of having to understand, like kind of, I was still stuck in the loop of like pinpointing, because you need to have that awareness, like to be able to pinpoint when somebody is trying to manipulate you, when someone has like wrong intentions with you, when somebody is a narcissist. Like being an empath, you typically are more prone to attracting these energy vampires and narcissists and whatnot. And so for a while there, after I learned the signs and the red flags and everything to pinpoint one, I was kind of always like, you're a narcissist, you're a narcissist, you're a narcissist, you're. And I don't think that that's just throwing the word out there. Like there really is that in this realm. You really do have to be aware and understand the signs and like protect yourself. And then I think if there's those people in your life, in your field, in your workplace, in your wherever, like if they're just there and like you don't have to let them fully into your circle, but if they're there, the way to maybe deal with them is to love them extra while still protecting your peace, but like to energetically love them, because it's like they are just a really damaged, a narcissist. To become a narcissist, you either have to have a coddling parent or you have to have a narcissist parent. And so they really were just a child who was in an environment that created their neural pathways to be formed that way. And so in a way, they're just like a damaged little child. And if you can just love them, like see them like that and just love them that way, and just remember that we're this one, sorry for the cars, we're this one infinite consciousness, and we are all from the same God and the same I am that I am, and we're here just to experience Earth, and also to meet the call. Like, we got the call, come here to Earth, save the world, save the planet, 5D, new Earth, and then like go home, right? We're just here for a little while, just to enjoy it, just to feel joy, to experience the body sensation of joy and that peace and clarity, to navigate and follow the joy and follow the curiosity. And you can't do that if you're filled with resentment. You can't do that if you are constantly resenting other people for wronging you, for mistreating you, for not paying you enough, for cheating on you, for lying to you, for taking over your position, for making you look small, talking bad behind your back, manipulating you, putting you in a box and making you have to be someone that you're not, making fun of you for wanting to be different and bigger and blah blah blah. Who fucking cares? I'm sorry, but like, I have to say that to myself sometimes. It's like, who fucking cares? And that's kind of what was coming through in my meditation too today, is like, who cares? Like, I saw this image of myself, like my true self, like the light being that I am. And I saw myself in these like contrasty moments of distortion, of like navigating this realm. And I realized like there's so much peace in removing myself from like thinking that I'm the player, that I'm this like this human form, remembering that I am this light being, and allowing that experience of everyone else to be what it needs to be. Like, you know, they accuse me of this, they say this, they do that, they do da 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 da. If I'm just present and just like, it is what it is, like, I'm just here to love you and to love all, then it's like that heals that inner wounded part of themselves. That heals that part that has been believing in the distortion, and that guides them out of this like enslavement that they're in. There's someone in my life who, like, from my perspective, was really much in that enslavement, and like very much seeing in a distorted lens, and like very much pushing people out of their life. And when I asked to meet with them and like just meet them with, and I met with so much love, because it was genuine and is genuine love, and like never went down the path of being like, you said this about me, you think this about me, this is not me, this is who I am, this is like, and really just like loving and accepting them. It healed them, and then ultimately it allowed them to see the ways that they've been seeing things in a distorted lens about me, about life, about others. And the outcome was the desired outcome. It was just a different path that allowed way more peace on my end, on their end, and like, it was just the quick way. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. It really is. And it's not about fucking positivity and being like, yeah, positive thinking, like just like completely spiritual bypass. It's about actually meeting that darkness, like facing that darkness, facing that ugly pattern that you have. We don't want to label it as ugly, but like that pattern that you have telling you that you have to be embarrassed of what you want, telling you that you have to play small in order to be loved. Facing that and actually looking at that and being like, look, come on over here. I love you. Facing your symptom and saying, I love you. Facing your disease, I love you. Facing your enemy, I love you. Maybe you don't have to say it to their face, but energetically. Maybe you do say it to their face. In that, you let go. In that, you find detachment. in that you find peace, you find centered, you find that you are the truth of who you are, and you become the point of attraction for everything that you've ever desired, and the doors start opening up for everything that you've ever called in. The only thing in your way is the distortion of truth. So remember the truth of who you are. Let go of the need to prove anyone or anything else right. You don't have to do that. You don't have to play small. Take up space. Take up space with the light that you are, with the love that you are. Allow others to have the experience that they're meant to have with that. And just watch what unfolds. Watch what falls apart. Watch what unfolds. And watch where you get catapulted next. This is a huge fucking spoiler. So, like, really, if you want to read this book, do not listen for 30 seconds. He forgave himself. He kissed the darkness on the forehead. He started walking. He married the healer. They fell in love. They got married. Like, that is like an example, all right, where you can, if you're doing that, but that is an example. Like, that is how healing works. Like, when you work with a healer, a lot of healers, like, this is like the actual process is bringing light to the darkness and like the emotional side of it. And then once you're there, it's like you meet the love of your life. You can walk again, like metaphorically or actually, like you can go forward with your life in the way that you've always wanted to, but you never knew was possible for you. I think that was the journey. And I feel that lightness still. I'm partially really cold, like frozen, but like inside, I feel all nice and fuzzy. I'm gonna go inside now and hug my space heater. But yeah, let me know how this landed with you guys in the comments, and if you have any thoughts. If you want to leave a comment, you don't know what to say, go ahead and put a wolf emoji. We love wolves here. They've been coming through a lot of my journaling, and like just like there's so much to learn from the wolf energy, and I just see myself a lot in it, the truth of who I am a lot in it, in the wolf energy. Fascinating. If you want to support my channel, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new here, and hit the notification bell. Someone had said to ask for hyper, what are they called? Hyper something, like you hyper vote to this video. It gives it more likes, I think. I don't know, but I really honestly have been getting a lot of either DMs or some comments on Instagram, sometimes comments on YouTube too, of saying that my YouTube videos are not showing up for people anymore. We just gotta get the algorithm pushing it out again, and the way to do that is to interact with this video and to do those things. So thank you, I appreciate that very much. If you want to sign up for Dream Life Sleep Hypnosis or any of my 21-day programs or my 12-week program, they are all linked below. If you want to follow me on Instagram, or Araya Mentee, also on TikTok, Instagram, I show a lot of like Portugal stuff, like on my story and whatnot. And that is all I have for you. Remember the truth of who you are. Remember that you can have anything that you want. Your desires are your guiding light. Follow your joy, follow your curiosity. You can have it all and more. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.